40.
It's enough. हो ना? काय तिथे? Enough?
सर मला थोडा नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लेम होता.
हो कळलं मला, सांगितलं मला सोमनी तुझ्या तिथे नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लेम आहे. आहेस ना आता?
हो सर मी आहे.
Okay, shall we start now?
येस सर वी कॅन स्टार्ट.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. Probably looking at this slide, you might be wonder why I'm showing these three people on the screen. There are two people who are not there now. Vilasrao Deshmukh, who was the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, and also the well-known personality in the politics. And the Steve Jobs, he is also no more. And the one who is showing his finger is Abdul Farooq Abdullah from Jammu and Kashmir, and he's also a political leader. Can anyone guess why I'm showing these three pictures to you all? And the topic is immunology of transplantation and malignancy. Do you know anything about these people? Anyone can tell me now?
Sir, Vilasrao Deshmukh and Steve Jobs.
लिव्हर ट्रान्सप्लांट हुआ था.
Who's?
विलासराव देशमुख सर का लिवर ट्रांसप्लांट हुआ था.
Okay.
मतलब
So
लिवर ट्रांसप्लांट फेल हुआ था उनका.
Correct. And what about Steve Jobs?
Sir, his pancreas transplant had failed.
Correct. Tithi, correct. And what about Farooq Abdullah?
No idea.
He was also suffering from kidney diseases and he has been transplanted with the kidney. So two of them are no more now because of the failure in the transplantation, but one of them is survived and still he is there and he is still active in the politics. So with this background, I would like to take you to the one of the beautiful science of rejection versus acceptance. We sometimes reject in our life also, and a few things we accept also. The one which does not suits our body, we should definitely reject it, and the one which suits our body, we should always accept it. Even in our normal life, in our day-to-day life, we have to follow this strategy. So today's topic is on the immunology of transplantation and malignancy. We all know that due to some diseases or the infections or injuries, our organs fail to perform their normal functioning. So what do we do at that time when the organ is not functioning? We try to take the organ from other person and try to fit into the recipient. Most of the time, if it goes through the various screening test, it is accepted by the recipient, but sometimes it gets failed. And failure of transplantation is not cost effective. Forget about the cost effective, but it is also not feasible, because taking out a kidney or any other organ from a donor, live donor or the cadaver, and transplanting to a recipient, and if it fails, it costs a lot, economically, emotionally, or health point of view. And of course, the immunology of malignancy is also very beautiful. So both of these topic we are going to study today. What are the different points which we are going to discuss today is the immunogenetics, basic facts, histocompatibility antigens, and their role in the transplantation. I just touched upon the histocompatibility complex when we were learning the structure and functions of immune system. These are the antigens which are required for rejection or acceptance. Very important function these antigens carry out in our body. What are the different types of grafts, including fetus? Why the fetus is not rejected when it does not belong to that mother? This is again one of the beautiful, what you can say, gift by the God to the human beings. Fetus are not rejected by the mother, even though it does not belong to her. I mean, it's a graft only. Then what are the different mechanisms by which these grafts are rejected? the tempo of rejection, prevention of rejection, how you prevent these rejections, and what are the grafts versus post reactions. So first, coming to the introduction, as we all know that we suffer from the diseases and physical injuries, sometimes accidents and all that. Because of that, the organ or tissue becomes irreparably damaged. You cannot repair them. It goes beyond that repair, and it is damaged so much that it is not possible to repair also. Or sometimes a baby born with the congenital defectiveness, or they may not have that organ in the body. It is because of the just congenital. It is not because of the disease or injury. And that in these cases, the transplantation or grafting is very essential, very necessary, because to perform the normal function of that organ or the tissue. Otherwise, the person will be in the diseased condition, and he or she may succumb to the fatality also. The tissue or organ transplanted is known as the transplant or the graft. So what is the graft or what is the transplant? It is the tissue or organ which is going to be transplanted into a recipient. First, we will see what are the different classification of transplant. It is based on the organ or tissue transplant. Which organ or which tissue is transplanted is also the basis of the classification of the transplant. Sometimes the classification is also based on the anatomical site of origin of the transplant and the site of its placement. So that could be one of the basis of the classification of the transplant. There are two mainly classification based upon these anatomical site of origin. Orthotopic, which means that grafts applied at the normal sites, and heterotopic means grafts applied in the anatomically abnormal sites. We will see one by one what are these transplants. A transplant may be of fresh tissue and organs, or it could be a stored ones. So if nowadays you might have heard there is a donation camps arranged by the various health organization, and there are lots of awareness is going on to donate different organs of the body. Of course, after the death, it is the otherwise those organs will go waste. So if you donate your eyes or some other organs immediately after the death, it could be a what you can say huge benefit to the recipient who can live the normal life. I think probably there was one of the advertisement in the on the TV also. A heart is transplanted, and that the baby who the child who has donated that heart, his mother and father went to that person who had such advertisement is there on the TV. It comes on the TV. I don't know whether you have seen or not. Very beautiful ad it is. The next basis of classification is the transplant may be of living or dead materials, and transplant based on genetic relationship between donor and a recipient. So we will see a few definitions from this chapter today. What is the autograft? Autograft is nothing but an organ or tissue taken from an individual and grafted on himself or herself. So same person, like for example, if a person is going for the bypass surgery, they take out the veins from the thigh muscle or the calf area, and then they get grafted. So the person is same. So that is why it is called as autograft. What is the isograft? A graft taken from an individual and placed on another individual of the same genetic constitution. Maybe one person who is donating his kidney or her kidney to a recipient, another person, of course. So that is isograft. And what is allograft? The graft between two genetically non-identical members. The first one, isograft, is generally in the family, and the allograft is generally in the species, like we all are humans. So we just see whether if I am able to donate my organ to any other recipient which is not from my family, from my family tree actually. So it is from the different non-identical members of the same species. In the first, you can take the example of the twins which born to a same mother, and that those twins can donate each other the various organs. And what are the xenografts? Xeno means animal. So graft between members of different species actually. So from the animals to the humans, like that. So that is the xenograft. So you must remember these definitions: autograft, isograft, allograft, and then xenograft. What is the allograft reaction? They have done an experiment, and generally what happens, the graft is rejected by the same species also sometimes. So the example is skin grafted from an animal, rabbit, for example, on a genetically unrelated animal of the same species. The graft appears to be accepted initially. Why? Because to recognize self versus non-self, it takes some amount of time. It will not reject immediately. The cellular immune response has to be generated, and it will take some amount of time. It will not happen immediately within minutes or within hours. It will take some time. So what happens if you graft a skin from a rabbit to some unrelated animal? Initially, it looks like normal, and the graft is accepted for 2 to 3 days. But later on, the immunological response starts generating the immune response to the this graft, which tries to recognize that it is non-self. It does not belongs to me. So what happens? Inflammation starts evident. Inflammation starts very rapidly, and the graft is invaded by the T lymphocytes basically and macrophages, and this graft is rejected. So this rejection is called as first set of rejection, because it took some time to reject this graft, because initially the immune system realized that it is from the same, so they do not have any memory for that to recognize it is non-self. So after the moment they starts recognizing, oh, this is not from my body, so they starts producing the inflammation by producing large amount of immune cells like lymphocytes and macrophages, and there is evidence of inflammation and then rejected. This is called as first set of rejection. If in an animal which has rejected a graft, now this animal which has already rejected, and if you try to graft again in the same animal, so that time there is an accelerated immune response which immediately rejects the graft, because now immunological memory is there. They know now this graft does not belong to me, so they starts rejecting immediately. There is an accelerated fashion. So this response is called as second set of response, because already that graft has been rejected, and there was a first set of rejection, and then immunological memory is there in these lymphocytes and macrophages. The second time, if you try to implant the same graft, then it will be rejected very fast because of the immunological memory. Why it happens? Mechanism of allograft rejection. Why this rejection occurs? It is because the induction of specific immunological tolerance to the donor tissues. What happens? Immediately, it will not reject at the first instance. So what happens? There is some amount of tolerance. By the time they try to identify that this is non-self, then they generate lots of immune cells from the T lymphocytes, mainly cellular immune response, and the macrophages, and then they start rejecting this graft. The transplantation immunity is predominantly cell mediated, especially T lymphocytes in the first set of response, because of course the cellular immunity is always there as a first set of response, and antibody takes part after second. If you try to try to graft this the same graft into second time, then that time antibody response is the most commonly seen, and that is why it rejects immediately. The first set of reaction where you will see the T lymphocytes, and that is called as first set of response of rejection. And in the second time, T lymphocytes are also there, but the majority the antibody response is very evident, and that is responsible for rejection of the graft. There is one term which is immunological enhancement. Enhancement increasing the immunology of our immune cells. Humoral antibody may sometimes act in opposition of cell-mediated immunity by inhibiting graft rejection. Sometimes it is by natural way. The antibody will stop the rejection of the first set of rejection. So the one which was rejected by the T lymphocytes is inhibited by the humoral antibodies. So this is called as immunological enhancement. This phenomenon is called as immunological enhancement, reported by Kallis in tumor transplant. This is because if recipient is pre-treated with one or more injections of killed donor tissue and transplant applied subsequently, that time the humoral antibody will try to accept this graft instead of rejecting. We have learned this histocompatibility antigens in one of our previous chapters in the immunology. We all have the human leukocyte antigen on our cell surfaces, and that determines whether to accept the transplant or to reject the transplant. So immune response depends upon the presence of these specific antigens, whether to accept or to reject. Antigen participate in graft rejections are called as histocompatibility or transplantation antigens. If the person doesn't have these antigens, same as of donor, then that will be rejected. If the donor and the recipient has these histocompatibility antigens or transplant antigens which are similar, then it will be accepted. The blood group antigens are important in transplantation. We all know that if I am saying that I am A positive, that means I have the A antigen on my cell surfaces and I have the antibodies against the B antigen. So if you try to transplant the crossing, I mean for A group you are giving B blood group, or for B blood group you are giving A blood group, it will be rejected immediately. Structurally you can see here the HLA antigen class 1 and class 2 molecules. If you see, there are two chains, alpha 1 and alpha 2, and there are the bonding between these sulfide bond, and this is the cell cytoplasm surface, and this is the class 1 molecule, and this is the class 2 molecule of human leukocyte antigen. These antigens, if they differ between the donor and the recipient, then that could be the basis of rejection. What are the factors favoring the allograft survival? HLA compatibility. That is why a person is giving any organ or are ready to transplant his organ to the recipient. The first thing which we do is the HLA compatibility test. It is tested by HLA typing and tissue matching. Example is microcytotoxicity test, restriction fragment length polymorphism, or you can also test by the polymerase chain reaction. What do? You just test whether these HLA antigens are similar in the recipient as well as the donor. As allograft rejection of an immunological process, it is an immunological process, rejection, immunosuppression will inhibit it. So if you want to if you want that a recipient should accept this organ from the donor, so you give the immunosuppressive medicines to inhibit that rejection, and this can be achieved by the immunosuppressive drugs. Probably you might have heard that people are on the immunosuppressive drugs so that the graft is accepted, it will not be rejected. Privileged sites where allografts are safe. That is why I was referring in the previous slide. Fetus can be considered an intrauterine allograft. So that is why it is not rejected, because those are the privileged sites that cannot be rejected, and it is God gifted. Fetus cannot be rejected because it has a privileged sites, and as it is in the intrauterine, and that is why it is the example of intrauterine allograft. This was all about the immunology of transplantation, and the basis is whether it is accepted or rejected based upon the HLA antigen, human leukocyte antigen, or histocompatibility antigen. If the donor and recipient has differences between these antigens, it will be rejected. So it is very essential before going to a transplantation to go basic test like histocompatibility test, and it can be done by molecular testing or the immunophenotyping. Now coming to the immunology of malignancy, we know the malignancy, it is generally in the cancer patients. What happens in the malignancy? The cells acquires new antigens. My cells which are going to be transformed as a malignant cell will acquire new antigens and also lose some normal antigens. And now if the cell which is transforming into a malignant cell, and if it is acquiring a new antigen and losing the old antigen, that will be new to our immune cells, and that is why they will be recognized as a non-self. So therefore a tumor is considered as an allograft which generate the immune response. Of course, if there are new antigens and old antigens are not there, so that cell will be considered as the non-self, and then the immune response is generated. Tumor antigens, the tumor antigens that are present in the malignant cells but absent in the corresponding normal cells of the host because they have acquired the new antigens. They are present on membranes if malignant cells and induce an immune response when the tumor is transplanted in the syngeneic animals. Such antigens are referred as the tumor specific transplantation antigens because they are new. There are other antigens present on tumor cells such as alpha fetoprotein in hepatomas and the carcinoembryonic antigen found in the colonic cancers. And you can also see such antigens in the patient who have been diagnosed as a prostate cancer. So prostate specific antigens can use as a diagnostic marker or indicator for the prostate cancer. Alpha fetoprotein can be used to diagnose the hepatomas, and the prostate specific antigen can be used as a diagnostic marker for the prostate cancer. What is the immune response in the malignancy? Both humoral and cellular immune response are demonstrated in the malignancy. Cell-mediated immune response is mediated immunity is believed to be the mechanisms of the host defense against malignancy. Mainly the CMI is the first immune response shown by the host if it does not belong to the self antigen. There is one more term which is there in the in this chapter, which is the immunological surveillance. Surveillance, we know that is a screening. Probably you might have heard now this area is under CCTV surveillance to find out any abnormal activity. Okay, what is the primary function of surveillance? Any surveillance in the normal life or even in the immunology, to find out which is self from the non-self, and this is going on continuously in our body and by the different cells. This immunological surveillance term was coined by Ehrlich, and then it was revived by Lewis Thomas, and then later it was developed by the Burnett. So these are the three scientists who have contributed a lot in the immunological surveillance terminology. What is the postulate? It has been postulated that the primary function of cell-mediated immune response is to seek, find out, and destroy malignant cells that arise by somatic mutation. What happens when a cell is turning out to be a malignant? As we have come to know now that they have the newer antigen on their cell surface and they lose some old antigens. So that has to be recognized, that has to be seeked and destroyed by the immune cells. So you don't suffer from the malignancy. So this is naturally, it should happen because immunological surveillance by the different cells which participate in the CMI, cell-mediated immune response. Such somatic mutation believed to occur frequently, of course, because that is their primary job, to find out what is the self and what is the non-self, and would develop in tumor but for the constant vigilance of the immune system and inefficiency of surveillance mechanisms leads to cancer. This is the basis of the malignancies. Why some people turned out to be a malignant and some may not. This is because the person who is not suffering from the malignancy has a very good immunological surveillance. And the person who does not have this immunological surveillance in place will suffer with the malignancy, because there is a failure to recognize. How is it possible? How it is possible to fail to recognize self versus non-self? What happens in the malignancy? There is an enormous multiplication is going on. Rapidly, these malignant cells, they divide so fast. So the number of cells produced or from the malignant cells are quite high in number, and the number of cells which tries to find out these new cells we are in less number, and that is why this escape occurs. Those cells which get escaped from the recognition from the immunological surveillance will have more, they multiply enormously and the patient turns out to be a malignant. So this differentiation from self versus non-self by the immunological surveillance is missed out in some patient, and it is carried out very efficiently in some patient or some person. That's why some people will suffer from the malignancy, some may not, because of this surveillance, effective surveillance mechanism. Now, immunotherapy of the cancer, either it could be passive or it could be active, and adaptive immunotherapy is specific as well as non-specific. So this is all about the immunology of transplantation and the malignancies. So I am done with this lecture. This was a